Good afternoon, internets. It is a warm afternoon. I am all done with work for the day, and I want to talk to you guys about the new Presto Changeo Weirdo leasing program from BMW. So BMW has launched a pilot program, and just to see if it works. This is sort of on a trial basis, very similar to what Porsche and Volvo have done, where you pay a certain amount each month, just as you would with a lease, but instead of being just leasing, one car for a given term, you can change the car out as often as you want from any one of a given menu of options from BMW, which is pretty cool. However, the baseline, they have two different tiers on this sort of leasing program, and oh my goodness, it is so warm that I need to turn on the AC. Goodness. All right, so there's two different tiers in the leasing program. The cheap one of which is $2,000 a month, which is just outrageous in my mind. And then their premium tier, or whatever it is they're calling it, is $3,700 a month, which is even more outrageous than $2,000 a month. I cannot recall off the top of my head what the price point is for Porsche, for their similar leasing program where you can change it out for a different Porsche every so often, but I know it's less than the BMW, and Volvo has one for right around $700 if my memory serves me correctly, which it very rarely does. So if you guys find any corrections or fault with this, please let me know in the comments. I know that you will. But this is sort of interesting from BMW, and the reason that it makes it onto this channel, being an EV channel, is that among the options included on their baseline is the 530e. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with the 530e, what that is it is essentially a plug-in hybrid version of the BMW M5, which is a very, very good car, and people seem to like it a lot. And every time I see one stock, I think to myself, wow, that's a good looking car. And every time I see one at a car show that somebody's done some stuff with, I always think, wow, that's a good looking car. And the owners of these cars that I've got to talk to at car shows says, yeah, it's a really good car. It's very, very driverly. Now, Car and Driver reports that the new 530e we know is 500 pounds heavier than the traditional M5. However, this has not affected the handling. They maintain that the vehicle handles well and drives well, still drives like a Beamer should, which is pretty cool. This plug-in hybrid is kind of neat. They have replaced the torque converter with the electric motor, and placing the electric motor forward of the transmission allows the driver access to all of the ratios in all electric mode too. So that's something that's pretty cool, and again, more driverly, good on BMW for that. It has around a 30-mile range in all electric mode, which is less than, say, the 2012 Chevy Volt Premium that we are sitting in right now. But it does, it adds that torque, and it makes the power available, instantly, in a way that you don't have with just a traditional ICE-only BMW M5. So this is pretty cool. I would like to know what you guys think. First of all, does anybody own or know anybody with or work with anybody with a 530e? And if so, how do you like it? And have you been able to get the wireless charging to work? Yes, that's right. The 530e does have the option of the wireless charging pad that you just sort of drive right into in your garage, but apparently not so much with the effectiveness with that. Apparently it's a bit dodgy, and it's a very expensive option, and if you do pay the money for the option, apparently it's a little spotty as to whether or not it will work, and if it does work, how well it will work when it does work. So I think that's something that they probably needed to figure that out a bit. Also, wireless charging for cars sort of gives me the Wiggins. Again, maybe I'm just sort of old-fashioned in that way, but there's something about taking the insulated cable out of the wall that's plugged in with the ground and everything, and manually plugging it into my car and hearing my car go beep when it's happily charging, and all of that is insulated. The wireless charging for phones, for that matter. I mean, we've had that for years, and I've never personally had it on one of my devices, but Rob has, and I say, oh, what is this black magic and wizardry? We must burn you at the stake. But that's just because of my own ignorance, and I don't really understand how it works, and it just And also I noticed, like, his there were times when the wireless charging was dodgy on his tablet or his phone that he had, the wireless charging feature on. So if it was dodgy on a tablet or phone, like, that would be a bummer if you wake up in the morning and your phone isn't fully charged, your tablet isn't fully charged. How huge of a bummer would it be if you wake up in the morning and your car isn't fully charged? Because I've gone to the garage before after having forgotten to plug in the volt. It's only happened a handful of times. Right there in the beginning when I was first getting used to being an electric car owner and driver. But going out to the garage and finding that you have a flat battery because you forgot to plug it in, that's a bummer. Now, if I had a flat battery, not because I made a mistake, but because the wireless charging feature that I was assured would work didn't work, oh, would I be livid? That would not please me. So I want to know what you guys think of this. Is $2,000 a month too much for the ability to choose from a select menu of BMWs and to be able to change them as often as you want? Now, it is pretty cool. They're going to do this through the app. You just dial up on the app the thing that you want and bring in the car that they make an appointment for you to come into a dealership right there in the app, and you tell them what you want, and they tell you whether or not it's available, and then boop, push the buttons. That's my app button pushing noises, very technical. And then you go and you get your new Beamer and drive it until you're over it, and then do it again. And apparently you can do this as often as you want. Now that's a lot of convenience. It's very, very cool if you have a short attention span when it comes to cars, if you don't want to incur the maintenance costs of owning a car. But now I understand that a lot of people are freaked out by owning cars and prefer to lease because they're not responsible for the maintenance. One moment, tea time for tea. And I can certainly understand that, of being afraid of vehicle maintenance. I've had that fear myself, especially when I had a less reliable vehicle, being the Volkswagen Passat that you guys have heard so much about. So, not wanting to incur vehicle maintenance costs, I get that. That's definitely an option, or an advantage that the leasing option has over the buying option. And the buying option just simply can't compete with it. You take it in for maintenance, and it's all covered by the dealership, and that's part of what you pay for in your lease. However, most leases are in the hundreds of dollars a month and not in the thousands of dollars a month when we're talking about these sort of more consumer level cars. Now, Beamers are known to be higher quality than, say, leasing a Toyota. They are known to be a lot fancier and well more appointed inside, and it's, I don't know. I can see why somebody would want, especially if you're a BMW enthusiast, and I would think that you would have to be for this program to be worth it. The i8 is not among the cars on either of their menus, which is what would be most interesting to me, nor is the i3. This seems to be for, they threw in the plug-in hybrid to just sort of appease the California Beamer fans, in my opinion. I don't know why they really did it, but it's the only option on there, and I think that that's a little sad. Even at the $3,700 a month option, shouldn't I be able to drive an i8? Should I just be able to show up and be like, yeah, one of those, and put the butterfly doors and the fancy hybrid electric sports car thing, and it's got that supercar look, and $3,700 a month, I ought to be able to do that. For $3,700 a month, I could sure as hell own one. So I don't know. That seems a little silly to me. I wish that they do a little bit more to appeal to us people, to my people, to the EV people, to the hybrid vehicle people. Not just the environmentally conscious, but also the economically sensible when it comes to purchasing fuel, which is a driving factor for a lot of people, more so the environment, and that's fine. We are a segment of drivers, and we're a growing segment each and every year, and I wish, I wish, at least for this pilot program, BMW had given that a little bit more consideration. And I'm not even asking them to make anything new, although that would be cool, but make the things that you already have that are hybrids or electrics, like the i8, like the i3, make them accessible and put them on the menu. Why not? What if people like them? What if they like them? They're going to go out and they're going to say good things about them to other drivers who might want to lease or own them. I don't know. It seems like a no-brainer to me, but hey, what do I know? But this is something that I thought was pretty interesting. I want to know what you guys think. $2,000 a month, $3,700 a month, madness? Or no? Do you think that's reasonable? By the way, most of the time I want to know your opinions, and I think that they're all valid, but in this case I feel that there is a right and a wrong answer, and paying $2,000 a month to not own anything is dumb. I don't feel positively about that as an option. But if somebody can make an argument for why it's worth it, I would really be interested in the argument. I'm open to having my mind changed, but right now my mind is made up. And my present opinion is that is absolute nonsense. And for that much money a month, I feel that I don't know. I don't know. It seems nonsense. But I'm also not the type to lease a car. So now that I'm thinking this out loud, maybe there's something I don't know. Maybe car leasing type people are like, no, this is amazing, and here's a list of reasons why. I would love to hear them, but for right now, as somebody who prefers to own a car and is not afraid of maintenance and likes to work on their own crap, and all things I could not do on a lease, I would void a lease agreement within the first week of owning it. I would never take it to the dealership to get work done, ever, because they make you wait in those little rooms with the bad coffee, and the guys with their name stitched on their shirt like to come by and tell you information you didn't ask for or deny you information you did ask for. And I've just had some negative experiences getting my car worked on at a dealership, and no thank you. And now that includes a Cadillac dealership, that includes a VW dealership, and that includes a different Chevy dealership many years ago. Not Finlay, that you guys saw were gracious enough to host me. They were actually super nice while I was reviewing vehicles, which, makes sense. But, at other dealerships, when you're having stuff worked on, man, I had some bad experiences. And I just, that part of a lease just sounds like a nightmare to me, and, not my speed at all. But I want to know what you guys think. $2,000 a month? Yeah? Yeah? Yes? Good for Beavers? Yes? Or $3,700 a month? Yeah? Really? I would like to know why. I want to know what you guys think about this. And do you think that other manufacturers should start doing things like this? We know Volvo does. We know Porsche does. Do you think other manufacturers should start doing this? And if so, who do you think should do it? And what market segment should they appeal to? Who is something like this really for? Obviously, those with lots of disposable income and who make a lot more money than I do. But I really want to know what you guys think. So let me know in the comments down below. And I think that's going to do it for me today, y'all. If this is your first time on the channel, thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing right over here, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. Here's some other videos I'm sure you're going to enjoy right down here. My name is Katherine with EVs of Nevada. I hope you all are having a really great day. Please remember to like, subscribe, and smile.